Here is the pitch that no one in Atlanta saw coming, and it wasn't thrown by a pitcher. It was thrown by 3 games of silence. 3 games where the most feared hitter on the planet went quiet. And in baseball, when Shohei Ohtani goes quiet, the entire sport holds its breath because history has proven over and over again that the silence never lasts. It only builds, and when it finally breaks, it doesn't whisper, it detonates. Shohei Ohtani entered the 2025 season not just as the best player in baseball, but as a statistical problem that opposing teams had no clean solution for. Coming into the series against the Atlanta Braves, he had already launched 6 home runs, was carrying a batting average that refused to dip below .300, and was posting an on-base percentage that forced opposing managers into nightly debates about whether to pitch to him at all. Analysts weren't just tracking his numbers, they were watching them the way scientists watch a pressure gauge. Every at-bat felt like a countdown. And then for 3 games the countdown paused. No home runs, no explosion. Just Shohei Ohtani standing in the batter's box doing what he does and the ball somehow staying in the yard. For any other player in baseball, a 3-game home run drought doesn't make the ticker. It's a footnote. But when you are Ohtani, when you are operating at the pace he was operating at in 2025, 3 quiet games feel like a fault line going still before an earthquake. The baseball world noticed. Analysts began whispering. Fans began refreshing their phones, and the Atlanta Braves arrived at Dodger Stadium believing, or at least hoping, that the window was still open. They were wrong. Now before we get into what happened in that 7th inning, if you're watching this and you love real baseball breakdowns, not highlights, not hot takes, but actual storytelling about what's happening on the field, we are building something right here at Baseball Daily. We are pushing toward our first 500 subscribers, and every single one of you watching right now is part of that. Hit subscribe, drop a like, leave a comment, and share this video with someone who actually understands the game. Your support is what makes this channel grow. Now back to Dodger Stadium. Here's what the casual viewer misses entirely about Shohei Ohtani during a cold stretch. The silence to him is not emptiness, it is process. People who are around him, teammates, coaches, the people inside the facility before the cameras arrive, consistently describe the same thing. When Ohtani goes through a stretch without a home run, he does not panic. He does not rebuild his swing. He does not start expanding his zone and chasing pitches he would normally take for a ball. His routine does not shift by a single degree. The work continues with the same quiet, methodical intensity that has defined him since he was a teenager in Japan, already dreaming in detail about what it would take to compete in the major leagues. He studies film and not his own highlights. He is studying the pitcher he is about to face, pitch sequencing, release points, tendencies, and pressure situations. The specific combinations a pitcher leans on when the margin for error disappears. Teammates have described walking past the video room before games and finding Ohtani already there, deep in work, sometimes a full hour before anyone else has arrived. He takes literal handwritten notes, the kind you write with a pen, because the physical act of writing forces the brain to process and retain information at a different level than simply watching. Every swing that looks effortless on television is the product of thousands of calibrated repetitions. Every decision at the plate, whether to swing or take, where to drive the ball, is informed by information that was assembled pitch by pitch, game by game, long before the first pitch of the current at-bat was ever thrown. The preparation during the silence is precisely why the explosion, when it comes, lands with the force it does. Atlanta's bullpen came into the late innings dealing. Their relief pitcher had his fastball command locked in. His secondary pitches were keeping Dodger hitters off balance. The Braves had navigated the middle innings with precision, neutralizing threat after threat, and heading into the 7th inning the game was tied. The tension inside Dodger Stadium was the kind that makes your hands sweat even from the upper deck. Then Shohei Ohtani stepped into the batter's box. Runners were on base. The count worked into a situation that would make most hitters in baseball tighten up, shift their approach, maybe expand the zone slightly just to make contact. Ohtani did none of that. His face, his stance, his breathing, nothing changed. There was no visible tension. There was no alteration in his pre-pitch routine. He looked exactly the same standing in that 7th inning tied game, season potentially shifting on the next pitch, as he looks during batting practice on a quiet Tuesday afternoon. Anyone who has been inside a stadium when Ohtani makes perfect contact knows that the sound alone tells you everything before the ball even lands. It is a different sound, deeper, sharper, like something being decided rather than just hit. The ball left the yard, 3 runs scored, game over. Shohei Ohtani, home run number 7 of the 2025 season, a walk-off, the Braves silenced. 7 home runs early in the 2025 season for a player who is simultaneously one of the most analyzed hitters in the game. Every opposing team has access to the same data, the same video, the same analytics infrastructure. Pitchers are making quality pitches. Defensive alignments are being deployed with precision. Every available resource is being used to solve the Ohtani problem, and the ball keeps leaving the yard. A walk-off home run in a tied game in the late innings is the single highest pressure situation a hitter can be placed in. There is no margin for error. There is no next at-bat to make up for a failure. Either you deliver in that moment or you don't. Ohtani delivered, and he did it coming out of 3 consecutive games without a home run, which is exactly when the pressure is at its maximum and the mental weight is at its heaviest. The drought creates the pressure. The pressure reveals the character. And the character of Shohei Ohtani, demonstrated repeatedly across multiple seasons, across every tactical adjustment opposing teams have thrown at him, is one that does not flinch under that weight. His own philosophy, expressed in the past, centers on a simple but brutally difficult idea. Each at-bat is its own complete situation, disconnected from everything that came before or after it. The previous 3 games without a home run did not exist in that 7th inning. Only the pitch existed. Only the decision of what to do with it existed. Maintaining that level of mental clarity not as a motivational concept, but as an actual operational state during the highest pressure moments in professional sports is what separates elite from historic. Physical tools explain part of the story. Bat speed, exit velocity, launch angle, these are generational numbers, full stop. But they do not fully explain walk-off home runs after 3-game droughts against quality bullpen arms in tied games. The mental architecture behind the physical performance is the variable that gets talked about least and matters most. For Atlanta, this loss carries the specific sting that losses to Ohtani tend to carry. Their pitching approach was sensible. Their execution through the middle innings was clean. 3 games of keeping him out of the home run column is, in the current baseball landscape, a genuine achievement. But the 7th inning against the Braves confirms something that every team in the National League is being forced to internalize. With Shohei Ohtani, containment is always temporary. What do you throw Shohei Ohtani when the game is on the line? Based on everything that happened in that 7th inning at Dodger Stadium, it doesn't matter. 7 home runs into 2025. A walk-off against Atlanta now permanently on the record. A 3-game silence ended in the loudest possible way. The trajectory of Ohtani's season is one that baseball historians are going to need to track carefully, because the numbers are moving in a direction that only a very small number of players have ever approached. The silence is over. The monster has spoken. If you made it to the end of this video, you already know this channel is built differently. We don't do surface-level recaps, we break down what actually happened and why. Subscribe to Baseball Daily right now because we are on our way to 500 subscribers and your support is what gets us there. Drop a like, share this video with the baseball fan in your life who would appreciate this kind of breakdown. And leave a comment below, who do you think is the toughest pitcher in the league right now to face Ohtani? And if you watch a lot of baseball, which team do you think has the best actual shot at containing him this season? Let's talk about it below. If you enjoy real baseball content and breakdowns like this, you'll like what's coming next.